Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again, and I promise you guys, I am going to completely surprise you in this video. You are going to explode or implode or some kind of plode that starts with two letters because I am here to rank my top 10 movies of 2025. This took forever to make, and I still am so upset that I deleted the video where I did the ironic ranking, where I took all these other movies that I didn't like and I pretended like they were really good. It was so funny, and it's one of my favorite videos I've ever done, and I'm so upset that I deleted that, and I kept on trying to do that video over and over and over again. Finally, I made just kind of an okay video that I probably shouldn't have even made, but yeah. So anyways, getting to my number 10, because I don't have I here's the thing. I don't really have any honorable mentions. The movies just were not very good last year, and I don't have anything that I'd be like, yeah, that is a honorable mention number one. I do have something that I did, though, that it's really going to freak you guys out. You guys are going to think that I'm bipolar or something, or by mental or something. I don't know. But like, I put a certain movie in the middle of the list, and I had another movie at number 10. And what happened was I took a look at this list and I thought, yeah, I don't think that that's good. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to put this other movie at number 10. I'm going to put it there. I don't like it. I don't like the movie. I don't like a lot of things about the movie. But I just can't, in good conscience, put this other movie at number 10. I just can't. It makes me feel like I'm less of a man. Because I was going to put Anaconda at number 10. Which was a stupid movie. I didn't even like it. But it's a fun kind of, filmmaking movie. It's bias. It's clear bias. But, it's like a comfort kind of movie. It's like a Christmas kind of movie. But it's bad. It is a bad movie. It was not the movie that it should have been. So I felt like it was completely just not good to put that movie in my top 10 list. And so, drum roll, number 10, my 10th best movie of 2025, even though there really are not 10 good movies. Number 10 is One Battle After Another, which also just won Best Picture. Now here's the thing. Looking back on this movie, I might go see it in theaters, because there's just something about it where, like, I look back on it and I go, it might just be like my bias, because you got these great actors. You got Leonardo DiCaprio, you got Benicio del Toro, who I really liked in it, and Sean Penn. He was kind of a cartoon, but there's so many things about the movie that I want to love. And for some reason, like, I look at it and I go, you know what? It has not aged bad. There's all these other movies of last year, like Superman, The Running Man, and they aged terribly. But One Battle After Another is one of those movies where I feel like people are going to talk about it in 10 years. Or 20 years, or 30, or 40 years, because it's an interesting movie, and I like the fact that there's a lot of twists and turns. I love the scope of it. I love the epic nature. My favorite part is the third act. I feel like the first hour is like the worst part of the movie. That all the first act is terrible. But as soon as you get to Leonardo and his daughter, that's when the movie actually gets good. And then the third act, the last part, with the part where the chase scene on the road, I mean, that is just like phenomenal. I mean, I really, really like that stuff. And even in my review, I said that I like that stuff. So I had to, I had to make a change. There are still a lot of problems that I have with the movie, though. Just in general, like, I feel like it is a bad story. There is not really a plot structure to the movie. And I don't even understand what the main group, the revolutionary group, I don't know anything about, like, their motivations, why they got started, who founded the group. And I feel like those are things that you need to know in a movie like this. But whatever. It's my number 10, and, go jump off a cliff if you have a problem with it. So number 9 is the Fantastic Four, which I really hesitated to put this movie in a top 10 of anything, because you got soy boy Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards. He's terrible. He should never have been Reed Richards. He's like the beta boy version of Reed Richards. And then you got soy boy Johnny Storm. He's actually okay. And basically the whole movie revolves around the wife, Sue Storm. And the whole movie is like, it's all about motherhood, and she's the main character basically. And it really is like an MCU movie, as people would say, but it's actually pretty good. The thing that I really love about the movie is that it actually took things seriously. There's so many superhero movies nowadays, and they don't take things seriously. Everything's a joke. And I love the fact that there were stakes in this movie, and they took it seriously. And there's an action sequence like 30 minutes into the movie that I think is probably one of the best sequences in a Marvel movie ever, which is like this chase in outer space, with black holes and shit. That was really, really, really fucking good. But the downfalls of the movie are Reed Richards is trash. And then as well, I just feel like the movie needed more to it. Like, it was too simple. It wasn't really that, like, groundbreaking or interesting. It was just a very, very straightforward. But you know what? It is very much like a 1960s movie. Like, I could imagine... No, actually, I don't know. Not with the whole gender dynamics in the movie, but I could imagine a movie like this coming out in the 1960s, because of how simple it is. But yeah, I enjoy the movie. Number 8 is Neighborhood Watch. This is kind of like a buddy crime thriller movie with Jeffrey Dean Morgan and what's this guy's name? Jack Quaid. And it's about a guy with schizophrenia, and he sees a girl get kidnapped, and he goes to this former cop for help. And I thought that, you know what, it was actually a pretty good concept. It was a pretty good movie. It's a little forgettable, and I don't really think that I would go back to rewatch it, but like it's a nice, like, one-time movie. Number 7 is Bring Her Back. This movie, originally, I thought it was incredibly good. It's very, very gross and creepy. It is definitely an effective horror movie. But looking back, there's a couple of issues that I have, which are that, they have this main character who, she has a vision problem, and they don't really take advantage of that very much in the movie, as much as they really could have and should have, to make like a really scary movie. And then I also don't really like the ending. It's kind of depressing. And again, it's one of those movies you don't really need to watch more than once. But I would definitely recommend this movie. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that it's not. I never imagined putting this in a top 10, you know? Number 6 is Caught Stealing. This is kind of like the modern version of the Martin Scorsese movie After Hours. And the thing that I loved most about this movie, because this is not a great movie. It's a fun movie, and it definitely kept the spirit of After Hours, even though it's not a direct remake or adaptation. The thing that I love is that, there's so many movies nowadays where everyone has to be on a team. You can't have a main character who just, he does things by himself. Everyone always has to be on a team. Even the villains have to be on a team. And I really don't like that, because it's like, it gets repetitive, it gets old, and I just wish that there would be some movies where there would be, that guy or that girl, and they would do everything. And this is one of those cases. The trailer really did a disservice to this movie, because they made it look like, the girlfriend would be in the whole movie, and it would be like a Bonnie and Clyde thing. She's hardly in the movie, and all the other characters, like, he is the main character. This guy is the main character. And I thought that there were some pretty good twists throughout, and I had fun with it. But it's just kind of like a rental. It's like a Saturday, Friday night rental. You pick up a Papa John's pizza. You watch Caught Stealing. Maybe you have a chocolate chip cookie or something. You have a little bit of fun. Number 5 is Predator Badlands. And this really surprised me, because a lot of people hated this movie. People that I usually, there are some people, I think, because you guys sometimes think that I'm too negative. I see some people, I think they're too negative. And this is one of those times, because I knew that this wasn't going to be fantastic, because it's a Disney movie. Of course, there are a lot of Disney agenda things about it, and but at the same time, this is actually a really, really, really fun movie. It has a lot of good action, especially in the second half. I love the characters, and by the end of the movie, I just found myself going like, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I'd love to see a second one. Like it was a genuinely decent, fun movie. It was like a blockbuster, it is definitely like a blockbuster type of movie. But it's still, like, I would recommend it. It's not as good as the first one, but I don't think they'll ever make a movie as good as the first Predator, in terms of, Predator movies, but then again, I haven't seen any of the Predator sequels, so I just don't think they look very good. Number 4 is The Black Phone 2. This is a tough ranking here, because this movie had a lot of great ideas in it. Like, how about we make the whole movie take place in the snow, to where it's just drastically different from the first one. And let's have the grabber be like this Freddy Krueger type of character. He's in your dreams, and he's a lot scarier. He's like a zombie. The grabber in this movie, he is like horror icon status. The problem is everything else about the movie. There are a lot of soap opera elements to it, a lot of like family drama things. Another thing is, it really doesn't feel like it's connected to the first movie. There's a lot of things about it that just kind of feel weird. That after the first movie, where they did one thing and then you go to this one and they do something else, it feels very strange, some of the choices they made. And another big issue that I have was there were hardly any victims in this movie. There was like one or two victims in the whole thing. And I just don't think that that's good for a horror movie. I think that that is a major, major bummer. Especially since, the grabber, I mean, why even make him as cool as this if you're not going to just kill a bunch of people in fun ways in their dreams? It's such a letdown in that regard. And then it doesn't have like these horror movie elements that I want. But still, what I really like about it is that they did something different than the first one. And I always love that, when you go to the sequel and they don't just do the first movie again. They try to do something different. And I think that this is one of those times. Number 3 is The Long Walk. This is a movie that I was really excited about, and I think it is one of the best concepts of the year. It's a very universal concept, where you got to walk with all these other people, and if you stop or you die, then you lose. And whoever lasts is the winner. Anyone can win. Anyone can win. And I just thought this was a really, really well done movie. It was very, very dramatic and emotional in all the best ways. There were some good characters. I really loved the friendship dynamic of the main two characters. And I just thought it was such an entertaining and interesting movie. Like, I'd actually love to watch it again sometime. The only things that I don't like are, from the short story, they changed some things for the better, but then they changed some things for the worse. And one of the worst things is who survives at the end. It's a complete letdown from, the book and from, what I think everyone really wanted. And then number 2, I think that the ending is terrible. The ending is just like a giant FU. I think that the book's ending is better, but I still think both endings are kind of stupid. They just kind of make you wonder, like, okay, what happened? Number 2 is Weapons. And this is one of those movies where I didn't even know what the movie was going to be about. And this is one of those ones where I think a lot of people have called it overrated. And I can definitely understand that because it's not a very rewatchable movie. The fun thing about it is the fact that it's so different from a lot of the other movies that have come out lately, in that they keep on switching characters, and it feels very refreshing because you're getting to see these different perspectives and these different characters that, that they all have their own unique spins on things. And I think it's a creepy movie. In general, I think it's a very well done movie. And I think that the villain, she's pretty good. She just won an Oscar. She's pretty good. And the only thing I don't like is the ending. I think the ending is hugely disappointing. I think that I don't know. The ending was very somber. It wasn't. I didn't like it. I did not like the ending. Number 1 is Thunderbolts, aka The New Avengers. I know that makes me look like a Marvel simp because I have both Marvel movies from last year in the top 10. But believe me, I never would have expected that. I did not force that. It just happened. There's nothing I could do except for watch the movies and form my own opinions. And to be honest, I think that Thunderbolts is so good that it stands on its own as like a good movie. Even if you took Marvel off of it, it's a good movie. It's about this group of underdogs coming together, forming a team. Yes, forming a team. And I just love how, they're so scrappy, and you really want them to win. It's one of those movies where you root for the main characters to win against the bad guy, against evil. And it's such a satisfying moment at the end where it's revealed that, like, oh, you're the new Avengers. Because it really felt like all these characters are finally getting, like, that moment that they deserve, that win. And it's so unexpected. And I also love how the last act, instead of, like, fighting an army of CGI aliens, instead of that, it's a very intimate finale. There's not really much of a fight. It's more of an emotional thing, and they all just give this guy a hug. And I thought, you know what? It made sense, as crazy as it sounds. And I love the characters. In fact, my favorite thing about the movie is Bob. He is both the hero and the villain of the movie. And that origin story, I think it's such a unique origin story. And it's just so shocking that this movie didn't perform better, because it was so good. I do know that the trailers made the movie look like it was going to be a goofy comedy, but there really wasn't a lot of comedy in the movie. Like, it was a pretty serious movie. It seems like they listen to the fans, kinda, whereas DC is going the opposite, where they are just making everything a joke and making everything really bad. It feels like Marvel is trying to listen to the fans in some respects. And I don't know why people haven't been able to see that. Like, they're trying to correct course. And this movie really proved it. I mean, it's my favorite movie of the year. The only thing that I don't like is I don't like Yelena's character. I feel like this is exactly what you'd expect from, like, a modern Black Widow character. There's no sexuality there. And Black Widow, her character is all about sexuality. Part of being a female spy is sexuality and using your sexuality to get information and all that kind of stuff. You guys know, if you've seen, like, James Bond movies, any kind of movies, you know. And instead of that, they purposefully made it to where she doesn't have to do that kind of thing. And I just feel like that's like a big fuck you, because it doesn't work. It feels so unnatural, and it just feels like an agenda. But that's not really a problem with this movie, because all this movie did was take that character that she was in Black Widow. I didn't watch Black Widow because I have no interest in that, because it's not Black Widow and anymore. She was in Iron Man 2 and the Avengers, and they ruined her. They ruined all that. But anyways, Thunderbolts, it just stands out. Like, there's no other movie of the entire year that I would feel comfortable saying, that's my number one. Thunderbolts is the only one. There can be only one. So yeah, that is my top 10 best movies of 2025. I hope the movies in 2026 are going to be better, because it was really, really hard ranking these movies. It was hard, and I felt like I can't confidently sit down and say Superman is in a top 10 best list of anything. But I felt like it's really easy to make a top 10 worst list, because you could just pick anything. I mean, I could have put The Black Phone 2 in the worst movies of 2025. I could have put fucking Predator Badlands. No, I wouldn't. Actually, I would never do that. But, like, you guys know what I mean. Like, the movies of last year just weren't very good. To be honest, I can see myself watching Thunderbolts, Weapons, The Long Walk, I guess The Black Phone 2, Predator, and One Battle After Another. I could see myself watching any of those ones again. Everything else from last year, probably not. Definitely not any of the ones from the worst list, like I Know What You Did Last Summer. You know, I mean, that was abysmal. But yeah, so anyways, please like this video and comment. Tell me your list. You know, what opinions do you have? And I will hear your opinions and respond to your opinions. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more honest videos like this, because I keep it 100% honest, whether you like it or not. And lastly, if you'd like to check out our Patreon page to support this channel even further, the link is in the description, and there is a ton of bonus content, spoiler-filled movie reviews that are about an hour apiece, my short film, and tons of other stuff coming soon. So goodbye, everybody. See you soon.